welcome to the Need to Know about Valence Romans. Valence Romans Drome Rugby. Yes, they are a club with a bit of a mouthful of a name. We're trying to give as much info on as many Pro D clubs, well, all of the Pro D clubs as we can. If you appreciate that, then please do subscribe to Rosbifs Rugby, your one-stop shop for all things French rugby. Valence Romans are a really interesting club to do a preview about. Not one we know loads about, but they do feel like a club on the rise. They've got a really cool badge. They've got really cool checkerboard patterns on their shirts. They're sneaking under the radar, but as I said, they kind of are on the rise. Their supporters group seems really cool. The 16th damier, literally the 16th checkerboard, is the supporters group. See them quite a bit on TikTok. There's plenty of drums, flares, flags, great stash, obviously. They've got a pretty big stadium for a club of their size as well, the Stade Georges Pompidou. We've not been there yet, but generally there's a few train stations that are quite close. Because Valence is on the TGV, the high-speed rail line. So actually places like Montpellier, Grenoble are not actually that far away in terms of train travel. But Lyon, Nîmes, they're both under an hour on the train as well. So should be relatively easy to get to. We would like to try and do a Valence and then Toulon double because it shouldn't be too hard travel-wise. But we have seen them away a couple of times. And in fact, I think last season, season before last, I reckon we were the only people to have seen them both at Biarritz and Grenoble because Biarritz is a long, long way from Valence. But last year, 8th was their highest ever finish in their current form. It's a checkered past, pardon the pun. And Valence Romans Drome Rugby formed in 2016. But even that was the merger of two clubs, one of which had already been merged with another. One part of La Voulte Valence, as they were, La Voulte Sportif, won the Brennus, the French Championship, back in 1970. I've saved you a bit of digging in Wikipedia there. I wouldn't recommend it. It's pretty complicated. Classic French thing where they've merged a load of clubs together. They generally represent the region, the wider region. They're on the rise in their current form. They've kind of come from nowhere. They finished 8th last year. I'm backing them to be 9th again this year. I think they're going to be able to back that up. Rich has been slightly less optimistic. He's gone for 14th. He reckons they could be in that relegation scrap. But let's get on to the players themselves. They've got some real talent in there. Lucas Meret is undoubtedly their main man. Played more games and more minutes than anyone else for Valence Romans and 4th most minutes overall across Pro D2. But most importantly, he was the highest point scorer in Pro D2 by absolutely miles. 86 more points than the next highest scorer without scoring a try and only 3 drop goals. So 27 more penalties than the next highest, which is basically 1 penalty extra per game, extra ahead of the next highest amount of penalties. He just kicked it from absolutely everywhere. Joris Moura, a fullback, he's a kind of second playmaker type fullback. Starts at fly half for Portugal quite a bit. Silky ball runner in his own right. They combine really nicely. And Louis Marou, another really good player in the core of that side. Highest try scorer for Valence Romans last season from 12. So key role in almost all of their wins. At home, they play some fantastic rugby. They scored some absolute wonder tries last season. Away from home, it is more focused on Lucas Meret's boot and finding him chances to get to score the points, basically. One player they do lose was interesting is Adam Vargas. Been one of their main attacking threats for the past few seasons. He's a devastating runner. Great feat. He has gone to Cast, I think, or he's gone to the top 14. Quite a big loss, but we've got to talk about the unsung heroes for Valence Romans because there are plenty of them. Ryan McCauley, giant of an Aussie second row. He is undoubtedly their main line-out man because of his height, but also he's their top tackler. Dorian Marco Pena, hooker, he's their turnover king and scores loads of tries. They do lose Cyril Deligny. He was kind of interchangeable with Marco Pena and did so much of the work around the park, both sides of the ball, but I hope that presumably means that Dorian Marco Pena will play a bit more. We're also calling out Gareth Milasanovic. I really struggle with that. But he's former Worcester man. He's a key cog in their scrum, especially when they went on that brilliant run of form in the second half of last season. And they've signed Tom Ross, a former Australian A tight head who became first choice at Nice last season. He's moved to give them a brilliant second option or kind of a rotate option with Milanasevic. Apologies, Gareth. I keep getting your name wrong. But a few good young players to look out for. Adrian Roux is a lightweight back row, but he's got a huge tackle rate and a good running game. Esteban Choutou, 22-year-old Lucek, got a little bit of game time off the bench last year. Went okay against some big packs as well. Other signings, they've kind of signed a few other really interesting young players. Hugo Fabreg is a really aggressive lock that was a regular at Oyonnax, especially when Oyonnax were in the top 14. Gives them a bit of experience in an area that they would otherwise be light. Player that we both really like, Rich and I. Rich, I know, is a big fan of Isaiah Moore Iono. Interesting story. He somehow managed to play for and against Saracens last year because he played in that cast away win in the Champions Cup, that heroic win at the StoneX. He's currently the starting 7, or has been starting 7 for Samoa, so that's really cool. He's a player to watch out for, still pretty young. Callum Randall is another interesting one, an Englishman, not been seen in 15 aside for a few years. I think he's been out Australia as well. Former England Sevens man, so that is an interesting signing. It'd be really interesting to see how he goes in Pro Day Dirt. And like, there's a few Englishmen and British players at Valence Romans. Owen Lane, former Welsh international, he gathered a bit of form at the back end of last season after quite a long injury, so we're hoping to see more from him as well. He's a really good player at his best. In a sentence, they've got the momentum from the back half of last season. They scored loads of tries and loads of points at home. It will be a challenge to build on that. Can they do it? Interesting to see. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you've got any questions about Valence Romans, drop them in the comments as well. Make sure you subscribe because there'll be plenty more information on Pro Day Dirt and all things French rugby coming from us. So hopefully you enjoyed that and hopefully you found that really interesting. But please get in touch with us at Rosbifs Rugby.